Oh, mama. Put that thing on easy mode. Go with standard edition. Story mode is my big fetish. Standard edition. My avatar's all coquettish.
Welcome to Standard Edish, the video game book club podcast where standard people play the standard edition of a video game and break it down week by week. And we are playing... Oh, wait. I'm Billy.
Oh, I'm Jackie.
I'm Alan.
I don't even care what I am as long as we're playing Tears of the Kingdom.
And Kaylee's playing Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah,
Just Kaylee.
we're really trying to play Tears of the Kingdom.
Really try.
Yeah.
If you're just joining us because Tears of the Kingdom is the game you've been waiting for, and you're just kind of curious what this is all about, this is a book club podcast, meaning we play through it section by section, and then we kind of break it down together. Great ways to have fun with that are to play along with us, or like many people do, play ahead and then reminisce as we stumble through sections that you probably found very easy and yell at each other while we have drinks and argue about which pieces were better than which, and then you'll probably end up siding with some of us and not others, and that's Jackie getting us started with some crackles.
Woo.
Cracking.
Guys, we made it.
The drinks.
We made it. We made it
here.
to Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the
It
Kingdom.
felt like it would never happen.
It felt like it would never happen.
Yeah, it's true.
Cheers of the Kingdom.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers
of the
Cheers of the
Kingdom.
Kingdom.
Oh, that's the episode.
Oh, that's it.
Two phones.
Boy, how do we start? So this is our first episode for
Crazy.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Uh-huh.
Woo, woo, woo.
You put the did you guys go physical or digital?
Digital.
Physical.
Digital.
Oh, we're split. I went
Well
fizzy.
split, yeah.
Ooh.
I just
Physical.
don't leave my house or order ahead of time.
No, I didn't plan ahead. And I wasn't going to wait.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just kind of wanted that. I don't know. I guess I was like, it's Zelda. I want to
you want
own
the-
it. I
want
don't
the- Yes.
want a like memory disc copy
You don't
that they
want-
can
Yeah.
take back and
An
I don't.
NFT.
Yeah, I don't want to get PT'd. Where it's like,
A
oh, you
Zelda
own it, but you took it
NFT.
off and you can't re-download it. Like, sorry. No.
Yeah. Yep. No, I gotcha.
I want a little
Makes sense.
disc I can lose and get mad at myself.
It's
Uh-huh.
so
Yeah,
small. I
yeah.
love how it comes in
Yeah.
like a regular kind of DVD case.
It's already like a smaller
size.
box too. It's like the smallest box you could probably get of like a
Wait, but then how big is
And then you
it?
open it. And
box.
It's a card. It's
it's
an
like
SD
a-
card.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah. Oh, have you never seen one of these packages?
No, I always get the digital versions of things
Oh,
for the
okay.
Switch.
No,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
It's a 1-inch square.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It's like pamphlet size box.
and most of that square isn't
and like the
necessary.
disc is like
Uh-huh.
it's like a SIM card disc, literally. Like
Huh. Okay. So it's just like a monumental waste of plastic?
kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. They don't even give you like a little. There's no like key art in it. There's no like.
There's no key
manual.
art.
That's what. Okay.
They should
No,
have
there's
key
not-
I
art.
wanted
They
an
should have
instruction
at least-
booklet, just a little
Yeah.
something.
There should be the
Okay.
The
lyrics.
deluxe edition gets the art book.
Oh.
Jackie, this
And
isn't
the-
deluxe edish.
This
Yeah.
is
Standard
weird.
edition.
So we'll never see it then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See
It
it.
doesn't
No.
exist. I don't need an art book.
Yeah. It's not like they don't have the space, but they have space for it. So I don't. But I guess it's for the deluxe edition. That's a different podcast.
Different
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah, that's the After Hours
Yeah.
podcast. So after, once you guys all booted up, I guess,
Intro
do you,
sequence.
yeah, I
Intro
thought
sequence,
I just remember the feeling of when you first boot the sucker up and it's like all black screen and everything kind of went silent and some text popped on the screen for a second. I can't remember do you remember what exactly it said? Did
says-
anybody write that down?
Nintendo presents Tears of the Kingdom, and that's it. And then it just like goes into the creepy fucking music,
Yeah.
and then
Oh,
the next
yeah.
bit. But yeah, it's just like Nintendo presents, and then Tears of the Kingdom, and you just
it
like
was good and moody.
Yeah, you get hyped like immediately.
Yeah.
It's just like,
it's exactly what you.
hyped.
It's got exactly what you wanted, Billy. Right? You want it to be like dark and moody.
Yep,
it is.
Definitely was.
That got me super hyped right there. I was like, oh my god, they're really going there. Thank God. And then there's some really interesting things that happen right away. Okay, so you kick it off, and it's Link and Zelda. Basically, I guess shortly after Breath of the Wild, right? Exploring under the castle. I don't know if we know why, right? We don't really know why they're doing that.
They tell us, I think, fairly early on that people have been going into these caverns and then coming out sick. They've been falling ill, and so they have
gloom.
Yes, but they don't know. They don't call it gloom yet. So Zelda and Link are going down to sort of see what's up down there. But yeah, they do frame it up
just
like
the two most important people
in the entire world,
in the Kingdom universe. Completely alone.
Yep. Let's send them.
I guess he's like a hero and he's the escort, so that's the narrative theory is like, no, it's okay but he's like literally the captain of the guard, right? I don't know that he should just be like, no, it's cool, I got a torch. Like, here we go.
They should have the whole army down there.
Yes. Yes. But like, I don't know. I guess like, they kind of, it's a post-calamity world. They thought they've defeated this
They got cocky. They flew too close to the sun.
Like, what else could there be? There's no other great ancient evil that we know about.
No.
Except for this one.
The Demon King.
The Demon King.
Yeah, so they find... I'm going to start getting fuzzy on some of these little details, so you guys will have to help me. But they find what we basically know is like some manifestation of Ganon mummified, the strange mummy down there.
Oh, wait,
well,
but the murals.
Yes. But the murals.
Oh, okay, yes, sorry, murals.
Yeah, the murals, which I thought of Kaylee when they started going with the murals. I was like,
Lord.
Must be. Yeah, I literally, I was like, Kaylee's probably loving all this right now. Yeah.
Zelda was so freaking excited to find these things. And I was like, this is Kaylee.
She had her,
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Like
she had her iPhone
mural.
14 out taking photos.
Yeah. The pure
That was cute. I
was more
loved the
exciting.
way she was using the phone and the sound effect they did for the camera and stuff. Whatever. Fucking, yeah.
But yeah, she recognizes it as a what's the species called? Zoanite. Zoanites?
Zonai.
Yeah.
Zonai.
The Zonai.
Those are new, right?
I've
Those
never
weren't
heard of
in
that
Breath,
before.
were
They were not.
They were not.
Yeah.
Oh, like
They
They might have been in
the
what was the offshoot in between the two? We talked about this briefly. The like beat 'em up that they did, and none of us played it. But I'm curious if they touched on that lore at all there, and if some people who played
Hyrule
that
Warriors or something.
Yes, Hyrule Warriors.
Or, I don't know.
I'm curious if they touched on it there, and if some people know about it, or if it's completely new here. I'm not sure. We'd have to check. But you know what? As far as we're concerned, it's completely new. So we're like, who are these guys?
Seems new.
So yeah,
big ears.
They got big ears. Like Zelda immediately like recognizes like some of the murals and the style of the architecture as Zonai, and then and then Jackie, we see the big old mural with the Demon King, and a depiction of the first king and queen of Hyrule, who appear to be a Hylian as well as a Zonai. So like the queen is
Right.
I didn't put that together. That's interesting.
Marriage, right? Like it came down from the heavens.
Well, and there's something that Zelda mentioned some other little juicy bit of lore about how there are legends that the royal family of Hyrule is descended from gods that came from the sky.
Okay, yeah.
And she's kind of theorizing on the spot that like, oh, maybe those were the Zonai since they lived in the sky. So, yeah.
Yep. Now, did Skyward Sword happen before this or after this?
There was nothing looking like a Zonai in Skyward Sword to my recollection.
So you're placing that before or after with that?
Oh, I'm placing it before. Oh, I see what you're saying.
I guess I'm wondering if, are we supposed to take that to think that some of the mythology that happened in Skyward Sword that half of us forget because the game was clunky as fuck. But did some of that mythology, is that what she's seeing in the mural? Or am I misinterpreting that because it's actually supposed to not happen yet?
So in Breath of the Wild, there's one bit of throwaway dialogue that I remember from a kid. Oh, wait, no, he could just be talking about the Zonai. Never mind. No. So this kid has you attach. You remember the little quest where you had to attach the octo balloons to a barrel and make it float, and the kid gets really excited about it. He says something about the civilization that used to live in the sky and roll around on giant birds, which was
so
in my head a Skyward
did
Sword.
come first, right?
So I think so, yeah. But I don't know. In this universe, the Zonai are the sky people, and they don't look like aliens.
Yeah, clearly different sky people. Yeah. Okay.
Different sky people. Yeah.
So can we go to the mummy now?
Yeah.
Is Kaylee done taking pictures?
So there's also a covered up mural. I don't know if you guys saw that, but the last panel in the mural,
a few more.
A few more Kaylee things. Right. There's a covered up bit in the mural. I want to know what's back there.
Yep.
Yeah.
It looked like a thing I could destroy. Yeah.
It was like boulders, or something.
Oh,
it's funny.
Did it look like you could destroy? Go back and destroy it?
It looked like I was man, where's my bomb thing? My bomb thing right now, because that would work.
Yeah.
But I don't have the bomb thing. So yeah. Also, the other thing, to your point, sarcastic point about sending down the two most important people into this hole in the ground that people have just been getting sick from. He has one weapon and no shield and no bow. I'm like, what?
Yeah, what?
You should.
But he has 40 hearts.
Yeah,
he has 40 hearts.
That was
and kid has been grinding, dude.
Mm-hmm.
He did have the Master Sword, so I guess if you've got that with you, you're I get this is an invincible weapon.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, and then I think this is around when the Master Sword starts to glow.
Right. Isn't it like glow or something? I forget. It does something.
Yep. Yes. It starts to glow.
As you
and
start
Zelda's
getting close.
Be careful.
Oh, right, right. Well, at least I like that they at least set up, kind of where you were in Breath of the Wild with, supposedly that many hearts potentially, not just like God of War where you just don't have anything anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's some story set up at least because you're going to not have the rest of the game or the start of the game.
You expected it, right? To see how are we going to lose all our stuff? And they did the classic. They didn't really do much of a reinvention of it, which is fine. But because I actually liked a part of it a lot. So let's go to that. So let's go to the mummy and talk about how you lose your stuff. So you go to the mummy, which is good and kind of creepy looking. He's all desiccated.
He's limboing.
Yeah, he's kind of twisted out of shape a little bit or bent forward a little unnaturally. Yeah, and there's a disembodied arm, I guess, for is it
holding it down?
It's just holding him or is it punched into his chest or something? I couldn't tell if the claws were in there a little bit.
I think it was open-handed. I think it was just
holding him down,
pressing.
Or something.
Yeah.
You don't. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't do anything to then activate the mummy. No. I sort of regretted that something. Yeah, I kind of wish that your two characters made a mistake there.
Yeah,
they did something, tripped on something, just something to activate the sequence and feel like this is all in motion because of you, as opposed to. They walked in the room and things just happened because they happened. I sort of hate that. I kind of wish they accidentally tripped on something, did something, touched something. I don't know. Touched the hand, did something to initiate.
Yeah. Was that whole setup there just waiting for any human to walk in so that it can crumble? Right.
Or did it just happen to crumble? See, because I even read it as it just happened to crumble then.
Yeah.
That's how I read it. Yeah,
interesting.
His power's been seeping out. That's obviously the gloom stuff, and so it's his power's been seeping out, and it's slowly been breaking through the control of this hand thing anyway. So I just took it as this was the moment. Yeah,
that makes sense.
We just happened to be lucky enough to be standing right there as the two most powerful people in the world, except for apparently this guy. So
yeah. Which is okay. Okay. So I feel like that was just a really, really simple tweak they could have done that I would technically like the narrative more if you're here, you initiate the problem, right? I think it's always just better than coincidence, but whatever. Okay. So maybe we're supposed to read that we did by just walking into the chamber, but let's pretend we did something. So then how do they portray it? Does he just wake up, or did some gloom shoot out of him first? I kind of forget.
Yeah,
Jackie.
I think it was like a twitchy zombie thing.
Yeah,
Jackie was doing just then.
It was like perfect. Could you do that one more time? Just no.
No.
Yeah, it was like a twitch, right? It's like a twitch into like a full animated thing.
And the hand just kind of like falls.
Yeah, the hand just falls off, I guess, first, right?
Right.
I guess that's where I was like, I wish we touched the hand and made it fall off, and that released him, as opposed to like the hand just fell off.
Wait, there was a thing that we did. There's a tear, and Zelda touches the tear.
Oh,
no, but doesn't the tear fall out
comma.
first? Yes. Like
does
we
it
don't.
fall? Oh, it does. You're right.
She doesn't initiate it falling. It just like
Yes.
falls.
It falls
and
out.
she
So
picks it up, and then the
Yes.
hand falls, or something like that.
Zombie
okay.
starts twitching. Oh no, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
might have
zombie twitches. The tear falls out. She grabs it, and then the hand falls. Is that right?
Something like that.
Something like that. So it's
That sounds
correct.
right.
you know,
That sounds
we're
right.
kind of
That
helping.
sounds close enough.
Regardless, my favorite part of it is then when Zombie attacks Link and he puts the sword out,
Oh yeah.
it like decays the sword quickly, and it also infests his arm, which got me really excited that we were doing the Princess Mononoke.
That's
Yes.
what I was. I totally thought the
right.
same thing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's a total Ghibli reference in all of the art style too, like the way that they did the tentacle, like many worm kind of thing, and also referencing the demon that I think that the main character in Princess Mononoke faces, and the hand, the arm gets infected.
And he literally. And what I was really hoping for there was like they kind of take this back a step, but like in Mononoke, you kind of, with that infected power, it also makes him stronger and helps him a few times. So it's this really interesting inner conflict, right? It's like the metaphor of the inner conflict of like that anger kind of powers him and helps him, but also it is inherently bad and killing things.
Yeah.
And it's in him and he's kind of using it, but it's not good. And I was like, whoa. Are they going to wrap that into a game? Because holy shit, that's cool. And then they kind of walk it back where suddenly you wake up and like, we'll come back a second. Like Zelda falls in a hole. You try to get her. You can't. You fall asleep. You wake up. And then your arm has changed a little bit.
You can't get Zelda, so you fall asleep.
So Zelda disappears though. She in a flash of golden light. Like so she's like falling. You can't reach her, and she just poofs out of there, seemingly unexpected by her. And then you're falling into the abyss, and the disembodied arm grabs you, and teleports you the hell out of there. And when that first happened, I was like, oh, something took a hold here, and they're both gone together. And that's kind of played through in the next part. They kind of, I don't know, it almost felt like the two of you are here together still. So some entity saved both of you at the same time and took you to the same spot. Just kind of how I initially read that.
A little different.
Oh, yeah?
Because of a scene that comes in just a second. But I'll get to that in 1 second. Hold that thought. Before we get to it, the thing that I wanted to point out related to Mononoke was you start talking to a Zonai who basically says that's his arm that he put on you to stop the decay and save your arm. Which I was like, oh, you kind of walked back the evil. Now it's already a good arm. Now we have a good arm already. And I was like, kind of sucks. Like, we really wanted the bad arm, the evil, like to be part of us and have to like tangle with that throughout the story. I was so in for like a whole 30 seconds and they just deleted it. And I was like, well, all right, whatever.
Yeah, I was in the same boat too. I think like as soon as they walked it back, I'm like, oh no, I wanted to kind of, because there is in the movie, there's like a timeline on the main character's life too, because it's consuming him eventually. So that idea of like,
and every time he uses it, right, it kind of like powers it to consume him more,
right?
And there's this really interesting tension about that, and we kind of just fucking threw it away.
I guess it would have been too on the nose. Like I guess it would have been just like too referential.
That would have been a great way to play up Leon getting infected with Las Plagas.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
If it gave him some kind of power, but then anytime he used the power, it would make him more sick.
Oh, that's such a good
See, that
game
would've been-
mechanic.
that
That would have been
a
cool.
good idea.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
If your superpower that makes you too strong, like, hurts
also-
your health, and I'm sure some have done this, but I haven't seen it in a while, and I would love that. Think about actually God of War walks it differently, right? You use rage to heal yourself, so you get stronger and you heal yourself. Can you imagine how cool it would actually have been if when you enter rage mode, it's sapping your health, so you have to really think about, like, do I want to jump into this for a minute? Instead, you literally just power it as, like, the, oops, I got bad at this game for a minute mode, right? Like, every time you turn on rage, you're like, sorry, I suck at this game. Rage mode, jam a button, heal myself
I gotta
simultaneously.
save myself here.
The again, nerdy thing, as a necromancer class in Guild Wars actually does do this, where a lot of their skills are inflicting conditions on themselves in order to then, like, put conditions onto somebody else, onto an enemy, or, like, hurt yourself and, like, poison someone or things like that. And
Oh
so,
my
like,
god,
you
you
do have
just
to
got me
balance.
to actually finally play this game.
Yes! That's also, like, the coolest
I'm
class.
so in. Yeah, we're all gonna be necromancers.
That's great. That's, like,
Although-
yeah.
You know, in Elden Ring, some of the talismans
Yes.
were like,
Yes.
you have
Yeah,
increased
yeah.
damage, but you also get this.
That's
Yes.
true.
That's right.
true,
They
yeah.
do a good job of that.
There's an up and down side of it. Yeah, yeah.
Or like the ones that gave you. I kind of tried one of these builds for a little while in Elden Ring where you have to poison yourself in order to get like a 20% bonus to your damage output or something like that. It was like
Right.
something crazy. And so it's like, yeah, if you could stack that and rot on top of itself, you'd have like this much health left, but you'd be able to do a lot. So yeah,
Cool.
it would have been cool. I still did like though with Link that they actually took away a character's arm. It's kind of a neat. You don't see that very often where like the hero is dismembered. You know,
Yeah.
and then like now he
Yeah,
has
that's
got a
true.
different arm, and it is
Yeah.
visually a different arm. You know,
Right.
And the tats,
Yeah.
too, right? That's
the
new.
tats are cool. Yeah, Mhm.
Yeah.
the tats are cool.
What's up? What do you guys think of the hair? He just. What's what?
COVID
I don't
hair.
like hate it. I just it seems actually like take it out of the narrative for a second. I mean more just design from a design, like they're showing you the design, you get to make the call on what your Link is going to look like for the whole game. Are you like, wow, I'm so digging this, or is it a little like, what's the caveman hairstyle for exactly?
I have no strong feelings about it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I
Yeah.
know why they did it. It was just for skydiving. They're like, the skydiving will look cooler.
Oh,
Oh, maybe
skydiving
that's
does
it,
look
yeah.
cooler.
I mean, that's going to
So-
be a lot of it. So
Or a lot of times, if I put a fan on a cart or something, I'll put the fan in the front so that it blows on me.
Oh, that's great.
Oh.
That's genius.
Oh, yeah.
It's
That's a
like
good
get the
idea.
wind swept. I love
Yeah.
that.
You get a little wind tunnel going. That's cool.
I love that.
Okay, hold on.
Get ahead.
Somewhere, so you wake up and they take away the poignancy and go, no, it's a pretty typical video game where your arm's good now, but it has superpowers, and you're like, all right, that's fine. I knew you would do it. Chickened out. That's fine, Nintendo. But then when do you put the Master Sword in the thing and Zelda takes it?
Well, that's later on. That's much later.
Okay.
So you have to get
Okay,
the
okay,
whole,
okay.
yeah.
Almost the end of
That's
the,
near the end
of
of Tutorial
the
Island.
tutorial.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do Tutorial Island.
Yes.
But that's the moment, Kaylee, when we get to it, that made me like, they're not together. Like, where is she? They're on
Yes.
different timelines, or she's in another reality, or something weird
Yup.
is going on.
Mhm.
Yep. All this whole time, you like go through Tutorial Island, and it's like get to Zelda, and Zelda is in like this other location. And it's like just get to her, and like cool, I can get to her. No, cannot get to her.
No.
She's
I
like
get to her?
Interstellar or something.
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
doing
Oh.
something.
Interstellar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, so you wake up and you get outside this like rooted, cool, very naturally area, and they immediately have you start jumping off of things, and I loved that. Like just like bigger and bigger jumps as you get through this area. You're like jump into this water, and then jump in this water, and then jump into this high water, and then like you do the final. You kind of actually are outside, and you do the big jump, and you're like falling for a while,
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
Tears of the
That was cool.
Kingdom,
Yeah.
music
Yeah.
is playing.
Oh yeah, that
The
was
main
really
title.
well done.
It
Yeah.
was so
Yeah, it was nice.
cool. I'm just like looking around, just like I'm sorry, where are we? Like, what's happening right now? I was not
Right,
expecting.
right.
You're not underground in a
No.
cave. You are above ground.
Yes.
Way above ground.
Way high.
I don't know what I didn't expect to already be in the above ground. I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought we
I
would
guess-
start smaller. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess in that cutscene also, right?
Mhm.
Like there's a I guess landscape change, environment shift, right? Like that's when everything
The
gets shifted
upheaval.
up. Yeah, the upheaval, right? So like
Oh yeah.
Hyrule Castle gets lifted up, and I assume that's how we get up in the air, but maybe not. Have they always been just up there? Those islands?
Right.
No, I think they said they appeared
Okay.
as well as the rubble that falls out of the sky and is everywhere. So all that kind of happens in that
I see.
moment,
yes,
which is called the upheaval, right?
Oh.
So
Is that
do you
right?
think they were like magically hidden and then they became visible? Or do you think they like kind of descended from
I took
being
it as
too
decided.
far to see?
I thought they raised up. I thought that's why we had all the chasms now. I thought they all
so too.
burst out of the ground.
Oh, interesting.
But they're not pieces of Hyrule.
Yeah, because then how could things fall from the sky that are different and are
And they've got-
zonai? And
because
zonai
they're
are on the
from-
islands.
They're from deep underground, and that's why they say, like, as you go around Tutorial Island, they're like, oh yeah, the zonite comes from deep beneath Hyrule's surface. Go down there if you want
True.
more. And so I took it as, I thought all the islands,
I see.
but like we basically,
So I see. Yeah.
this Demon King guy woke up, reactivated basically all the zonai magitech, and it just burst out of the ground and started flying to like, and is now hovering in midair. That's how I took
Do you
it.
Okay,
think-
but what about the Sundelions and the yellow trees?
These are great points.
Maybe they just grow fast. I don't know.
Art.
So they're not.
They
environmental.
looked better.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Like, what is all this nature doing up here? Because clearly, as we explore the depths, it's not quite as
They're different.
they're different. It's a good point. Maybe they did come down. I like that idea. Yeah.
But then how did the holes get there?
Then what you said made a lot more sense too.
Bit of both.
Yeah.
Bit of both. Oh, actually, I have an answer to you. But we're going to talk about it later because it's a little spoilery for something. I think so there's something that you can find.
Already with the spoilers.
I know. It's something that you can find in the underground that like, it's not that much of a spoiler. If you did the camera thing, then you found the same thing that I'm thinking of. But we can talk about it later. I think that would be the answer to that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
Well,
I'm gonna hold
did we
that.
all find the camera? Should we just say what the answer is? No? Keep
I
going?
haven't found it. but you
Oh,
guys can
Alan
find it.
didn't get a
no,
camera.
no.
Oh,
Yeah.
No.
jeez.
I know.
Real dad stuff.
Father.
No,
I
I really.
know.
Father now.
I'm not
So
even
responsible.
out of Tutorial Island. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
boy.
I know. It's caught up to me. But we'll make it.
Well, Alan,
we'll make
remind
it.
us
It's
what
portable-
happens
it's a portable
on the
device.
island.
It's a portable device.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, so we get. I mean, it's very much like, you know, when you start playing Breath of the Wild and you're on the Dinky Plateau, I guess. And then like
The Great Plateau.
is it called the Great Plateau? Yeah. So
It's an okay plateau.
yeah, but then like the game really kicks off after you pretty much get off of it with the kite. But in the beginning, it does feel big. But I remember as soon as I got to that first splashdown, basically like Tom cruising down into the sky, which is really cool. Like you have the option to go faster, and it's like you almost don't need it. I don't know. Like I guess it's cool. Yeah. But yeah, I opened the map immediately once I got it, and I like zoomed down. I'm like, oh my god, there's so much here. But I guess it is all Hyrule, which is we've done it before. But I guess it sounds like there's more stuff now, even on the ground, these caverns perhaps. So I don't know. I was like, there's so much fog, so much stuff to do. I'm excited. I was really excited. I was really excited, but also very like, I remember this.
Mm-hmm. And I would say like don't multiply the map not by 3, but maybe by 2. Like there's another. So essentially, like you'll understand a little bit more in a little while. But like there's a lot more. So like yes, the initial landscape of Hyrule has changed itself, but now there's like obviously things in the sky. And then there's other areas that have been created as well that even increase the discoverable zones. So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah. I just started exploring immediately. Like, just oh, there's a hill. Let me go. want to, but yeah, again, also just like bringing back, I don't know how you guys are doing now with the controls. I'm just now kind of getting a hang of back on it, but I'm still doing jump and like I don't know. I feel like I'm confusing some of the controls, and I think you just have to keep playing, and I think you'll eventually get there. But
yeah. I mean, it's been out for a week,
yeah.
So
right.
let's be patient with ourselves. But yeah, I was definitely like trying to exit the map, and by like mashing A, which was what I thought was exit, and then I would just like put like three stamps in the same spot.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've done that.
I remember.
It's funny. I remember the same problems with the original Breath of the Wild, just like their combat system too, not being bad, but just not feeling intuitive on the controller, where it was like, what?
It's complex.
How do I do
on the controller? Yeah. It's a little rough.
Having that same problem here, where it took me a while to start like, oh, how do I... So it's interesting, actually. Okay, let's talk about Tutorial Island for a minute and some of the powers you get, but they throw you into a few combat scenarios right away, but they don't really remind you all the buttons or like how to dodge, how to slow down time, how to use your shield. Like they don't really tell you everything right away.
They don't tell you that at all.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. I actually didn't remember the combat until after the tutorial. On the ground, I ran into a random shrine at some point that taught me the combat, and I was like, that feels like one you should have put in the sky, but fair enough.
Weird.
Thank you for giving me all those enemies and not telling me how to fight, but whatever.
That's true.
Having played Breath of the Wild somewhat recently, they don't tell you about the bullet time either until you get to the Kakariko shrine. So the bullet time stuff and the dodging stuff is also like a shrine discovery thing. Like there's no tutorial part on the plateau that goes through the bullet time thing.
I mean, they give you the basics. They say this is
you swing.
This is target.
Yep.
This is block.
Yeah, target.
This is swing. That's it.
I kind of appreciate how they didn't hold your hand. They're just like, go. Like, like, hey, just you are deal with this now. And it's like, okay, yeah.
Maybe the problem was that I knew too much. Like I remembered there being depth to it, but I couldn't do it, and I felt like it wasn't telling me it. Whereas in Breath of the Wild, not knowing what you can't do yet, it probably felt a lot better. Where it was like, oh, I'm being eased in, and this is everything, and then you like learn you can do more. It's kind of exciting. And in this one, I was just kind of like. I definitely struggled with the tutorial because right away I was like, I want my paraglider. Like, how do I do bullet time again? Why don't I have a bow? I want my, like, I really struggled with, I just want my basic controls immediately. Not necessarily all the cool weapons and like hearts. And I was fine with that. Fine with losing the bombs. But I did want just my basic Link. Like right out of the package, and then not really having that, especially paraglider in the sky. I like killed myself 3 times thinking I had it, like subconsciously.
Yes.
Jumping off a thing, clicking a button, just dying. And being like, oh, damn it.
Yeah, that happened to me several times. I was just like,
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no, this isn't Breath of the Wild yet. Okay, so what's your first shrine? What's your first power you get? Is it Ultrahand?
Ultrahand.
Yeah, Ultrahand.
Okay. What's Ultrahand, Jackie?
It's basically magnesis, but you can use it on non-metal things too.
Yep. That's a really good explanation.
And you get glue.
Yeah, glue.
And it can glue things.
Get the flubber glue.
I wish you could stick. I wish you could the items that they let you pick up. I wish you could stick them to anything.
Yeah, I noticed that too. That was weird.
I'm sure that would make the game very different. So I appreciate that there are some boundaries. But
like
you have to like get across a gap. So they give you materials to build a bridge, and then there's like a thing. There's like a single rail kind of going down, and they give you platforms and hooks, and you have to put the hook on the platform, and then that goes on the rail, and then you get on the thing, and then it goes downhill. And I don't know how many times the cart ran away from me.
Oh yeah. I was
So
wondering, yeah.
many times.
Really,
I'm just
yeah.
like, just so excited that you did it, and then it's just like, wait, where are you going?
Yeah. Don't leave without me. That's funny.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It was. I thought that one was pretty. Yeah, it was interesting in that they gave you enough materials, obviously, to like do stuff, and you could probably magnesis the whole raft back if you wanted, or like the platform. And then they also had an example
Yes.
like above you, so it was like a nice little intuitive, like, okay, then I thought at one point I had to go up there, but it was literally just getting across was it. But it was nice to see. It's like, oh, okay, I didn't look up there until I finished. So for the people that
I
actually
don't think I ever
did you
saw
guys not
that,
look
actually.
up? Yeah, okay, yeah.
I saw
So
that one.
I
Actually,
also
I got
didn't really
lucky,
see it until the end.
Mhm.
Oh, I used two hooks, so I over-engineered it.
Did you put them opposite each other?
I did. So they were like hook hands.
That's
like
so funny.
Yeah. Did you do that?
That's what my Jimbo did.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
It was,
you go.
and it was kind of hard to like get it on.
yeah, it was kind of
Mhm.
ridiculous. But I was like, I think I got it, and then I just ran, and jumped on.
That's funny. I did that. I did the same thing because I was like, if I just use one, it's gonna tilt and I'm gonna fall
That's what I
off.
thought.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I did the same thing. I used two, and
Guess you have to stick it in the middle.
yeah, I guess you just have to stick it in the middle.
Yeah, I just used one.
Oh,
Put it
okay,
on.
funny.
It tilted the tiniest bit, but I rode it far enough and then just
Yeah.
jumped off.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, and then do you get fuse?
Yeah.
Okay, Kaylee, go.
Yeah. Fuse.
Fuse is the one that I have the most problems with.
Okay.
Because the concept of it is pretty cool. So fuse means you get to take a weapon or your shield or an arrow and stick something else in your inventory to it in order to make a new thing, which is pretty neat. And I think the arrows are the best application of it, like kind of in practice, because it's really just like instead of like it's the same button that you had before to like switch your arrow types is now just like you open essentially your inventory and can just select something to stick on the end of your arrow and it's like go
Literally anything.
literally anything.
yeah, true.
Which is great. I fired some eggs at someone just in memory of Red Dead Redemption. I'm sorry, I keep doing this in Resident Evil. I'm
Does
just
that do anything?
Oh,
no,
okay.
it does not.
No,
I was
it
kind of
didn't do
disappointed. I was like, at least
Oh, it
splatter.
didn't it didn't
No.
change.
Yeah,
like
right.
it's
Make it
it's,
splat.
Make it splatter. But the fuse thing, my only complaint about fuse is that when you have to do it for like a melee weapon or a shield, you have to actually, you can still use that same contextual menu. You press up on the D-pad and select something and drop it and then trigger fuse to fuse it to the right thing. Just a little clunky. It's like not a thing I can do quickly in combat, you know?
No, it's got to be
Whereas,
like ahead of time.
it's got to be ahead of time. You have to like plan that out a little bit more. And I would love to like,
And you also can't
yeah.
unstick anything.
You can unstick it. You have to go into your inventory and it destroys whatever you stuck to the weapon. It doesn't destroy the weapon itself. But you can, there's an option there. You can
okay.
select it from the menu and unstick.
Interesting.
Yes.
Gotcha. Good
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just wish that was a little bit faster because it's like, it's hit me a couple times where my fun move has been to put like a puff shroom on my shield so that when an enemy hits it, it gets like it basically stealths you.
It's a smoke grenade.
Smoke grenade.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
But it's a
cool.
one shot, one opportunity kind of thing. It only happens the first time because then I don't have enough time to like go and redo it, the fuse thing, because I have to drop this
Right.
thing and then.
Oh, that's really cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
because you
okay.
can't do it from your menu. You have
can't do
to
it
literally drop the item.
Yeah.
Same way you'd be cooking, I guess, right? Like you go and select
you
it
have
to
to.
carry, go
Yes.
to your real human in game, drop it, select your ability, which doesn't freeze them, I think.
It does
Right?
not.
Like-
No.
Yeah, so they're still running around and you're
Uh-huh.
trying to fuse. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And there's like
So
there's
everything
a,
has to be in the environment.
yeah. There's a faster way to open up to just drop an item. They did make that better, so you don't have to open up your whole inventory. You just press up on the
Right.
D-pad, and then
And
you
then
can
press X.
and then you press X.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
it's
is that
still
new?
not
Okay.
very. It's still not very streamlined to happen in the moment. So yeah, those are kind of preparatory. But the arrows, dude, the fusing of the arrow stuff to the arrows is my favorite thing.
Yeah, that seems like it's a better use case
Yeah.
for it because it's
Yeah.
like stops the gameplay too. So and you could probably use that more in combat.
Yeah, that one especially right now while I have so few hearts, just like a lot of arrows with a lot of stuff stuck to them from a long ways away.
Yeah.
It's just how Kaylee is playing.
What
this
do
game.
you? What kinds of things are you putting on your arrows?
Oh, so one of the other cool new things that they introduced in that shrine are the elemental based fruits now. So we have the fire fruits.
Yeah.
And I've stumbled across water and ice and electric ones and even bright ones. And so I use a lot of those things, which is nice to have those instead of like the elemental weapons. Finally, there is a use for the choo-choos.
The choo-choos!
I was so happy that those jujubes.
Yeah, I sort of used them. I remember.
Really?
Yeah.
You can still like use them and hit them to like. You could use them as like bombs in a way against enemies.
I never got the hang of that.
Freeze them with them and stuff.
They're a bit like niche, like a niche thing to do. Like if you really want to use it, you could also change them. Like you could change the base, basically. EV evolution.
Yes.
But yeah, you could turn them into like electric or fire, I think maybe.
I would do that and I would turn them electric and sell them because they were worth more rupees that way.
Right.
I never got the hang of using them in context. Now I can put them on the end of any arrow and shoot it across the map.
That makes it more accessible, I think.
Great.
Yeah.
That's cool. So yeah, that's mostly what I've been doing. Like I said, experimented with a few eggs. Lackluster results on the eggs. I was really hoping for a splatter.
Monster parts?
New attributes.
I haven't done much in the way of monster parts. Monster parts have mostly been going on my weaponry, my melee weapons. So, but yeah.
I have too many because I'm fighting so many monsters.
So many monsters.
Monster hunter over here.
But yeah, I don't know. So that's few stuff. Fruits.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we get Ascend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Pleasantly surprised
Alan?
by this one.
Allegedly.
You haven't gotten Ascend, Alan?
No.
I guess. Alan, why don't you walk us through it?
Yeah, so I think what happens is there's, according to what I remember from the internet, you can ascend ability, right? It's basically like a reverse time sort of thing. Something shoots in the air, falls down, you can reverse the time. That's wrong. That's different. That's a different one.
That's a different one.
You get that as well.
You
get that one too.
But that's not. That's later.
One?
That's later. That one's
Recall.
Okay. No, I don't know what the Ascend is then. Tell me.
Do you know what Ascend is? I find this kind of an interesting choice because in Breath of the Wild, I can't remember what they called it, but you got the Rito power that allowed you to do like a super jump. Right?
Rivali's
and it was super
Gale.
cool. What was it? Sorry. Say it again.
Rivali's Gale.
Yes.
Yeah. It basically
and
shuts you
you
up in the air.
could just be anywhere and not really use it to climb, but like pull out your parasail and sail from somewhere, which is kind of cool. You had full control over it, right? Because when you pushed it, you could then sail right into a rock wall and it helped you climb a bit, and then you climb the rest of it. You could jump to certain heights you maybe didn't have a lot of climbing stamina for yet, or you could just kind of goof off and like do it in the middle of a field and use your parasail, try to get across a lake. So much you could do with it. But it was like a mechanic that was just a super jump that you then have full control over. I think the control is what I'm getting at. That was so fun. What I find weird about Ascend is that it can only be used in certain areas where you see if it can. Like, so it's not a ceiling has to be above you. It has to be within a certain range. And then if it is, you can click, it tells you it is, and you click a button, and then you do nothing for a while until it tells you it is done with its action, which is jumping up for you, swimming through, which looks cool. It looks cool. Him swimming through like cement and stuff is dope.
I love the animation when he hits the ceiling. It's like, boom.
Yeah, that part is really well done.
Yeah.
It just that you're not doing anything is what I find such an interesting choice about it, because in the first game they basically had in some ways the same ability, but you controlled it. And in this one, you don't control it. You find it, it tells you, you click a button and you wait. And it's just kind of, it's just an interesting choice.
Anywhere, right? You can't use it anywhere, it sounds like, right?
Only where they like predetermined you could do it.
So basically like elevators.
There are rules. So okay. I think you're coming at it the wrong way, Billy.
Explain it to me.
I see this not as a comparison to Rivali's Gale, but as just a teleport upwards thing.
Mhm.
And obviously, if you're in the underground, which we haven't officially mentioned yet, but if you're in the underground, the ceiling is so high up that
You can't use it, right?
You can't ascend. You can't just ascend to surface level from anywhere.
Which
anywhere.
actually would have been a dope use of this if
Yes.
basically the point
Yeah.
was it's just your quick shortcut out of the underground. Then I would have been like, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
interesting. Okay.
it has to be like, maybe you're inside of a surface level cave.
It's like a 2-story-ish rule, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you could see the ceiling, and if what's on top of the ceiling, if the roof is relatively flat, you can get up there. But there was like a lip coming out of a place, and I was within range underneath it, and it wouldn't let me ascend to the top of it. And so I like climbed over to the top of it, and it was very narrow, and like it was like 3 columns on each other, and it wasn't level, and I figured that was why it wouldn't let me ascend through it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think it's a great like limited teleport button,
I could see it being very useful. Like, I haven't tried this myself yet, but like within the castle to get between floors.
Ooh,
That could be really interesting. In an actual
okay.
dungeon,
Yeah.
this ability might get really cool. You're right.
Because suddenly
In
you've got
open
shortcuts.
spaces, it
Yeah.
feels like a strange thing to me so far, where it's not like it's bad.
No.
It's just so context sensitive in a way, and I know they'll build a bunch of those areas, but it's still just like, it takes a little control away from me, and I don't really see the value yet. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, I don't hate it. I wouldn't necessarily say it is fun to use. Like, is it fun to find the spot and push the button and wait? I would say not exactly. It just does a thing.
there is a sky tower that you solve using ascend.
Oh,
So
okay.
That's
Yes.
cool.
that's cool.
Yeah. So that was a cool. I hit that one too. You have to actually use a few of the different powers in order to like kind of get into it. But it's like, it gives you a very strong hint. It's like, if only there was some way to get inside this thing. And then it's like, oh, and there's also a cave where I hunt mushrooms. And it's like, oh, okay.
Directly below.
Directly below.
Yeah.
Directly below, you say. So, there's fun things like that. I want to experiment with it a bit more in like some of the boss towers, like the, how like the Bobbikins make like the multi-story.
The
things,
spiral
bokoblins.
fortresses. I've been ascending through there.
Does that work? Okay, I gotta do that
Yeah.
then. Because like
Yeah.
I was like, that's always been one of my things. Like, how do I get to those are always easier from the top down. And
Right.
so
you fight your way
that
down.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Get
the high
Instead
ground.
of fighting your way
Also,
up.
that's where they keep
So,
the treasure up there
mhm.
too. Usually.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, you just
Okay, that's kind of
Oh,
cool. I
okay.
can see in
Go
those
there.
instances that make it more
Yeah.
fun.
Mhm. A lot of the stuff has been more fun in use off of Tutorial Island.
Yes, and I do think that was part of my problem, is like Tutorial Island just didn't click for me the same way Tutorial
Plateau.
What did we call the Tutorial
Oh, yeah.
Plateau.
It's a
Tutorial
good- it's a
Plateau
good
just
plateau.
worked better for me for some reason than this one did.
You didn't like building all these carts and rail glider things and getting around on the islands? I had so much fun with that.
I thought the carts were fun, and the glider was a really cool moment when you first
The
got on the glider,
glider.
and it went like that was probably the first, outside of jumping down in the title card. That was the first next real aha moment.
That
but
glider
outside
didn't
of-
need so many fans. If it's like, I wish that if you have the glider and it's not like on a place where it can easily launch,
Oh,
you gotta put like 3 fans on it in order
Gotcha,
to make
gotcha.
it lift off and then fly
Oh,
forward.
okay.
But where you first find it, there's like a track, right?
Yeah.
You set it on the track. Yeah.
That blew
yeah.
my mind.
That was really cool.
I
That
was like,
cool.
because the only experience you have with like Breath of the Wild and air is like you're holding the paraglider where you're falling, right? And now, suddenly, we have this platform that by itself will sail through the air like a paper airplane. And you can like walk from wingtip to wingtip to steer it. And
That's what was so cool.
I was like,
that's really cool.
What? I was so
Yeah, you're
cool.
controlling it still. You have control.
I spiraled it down and like it was really go ahead, Jackie.
Wow.
I landed squarely at the door of the Temple of Time.
Yeah,
whatever
that's
the
where it wants
the
you to
main
go.
building. Yeah. Like I got it like nose hit the door.
Bravo.
Oh, nice. Wow.
Really great.
Mine always ran out of battery because I was too busy dicking around in midair, just like wee. I died.
That was definitely
several times that way because I was just messing around and didn't realize it would break after a little while, and then I would fall, and I would not fall into water.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, didn't you text us that you had like 4 or more fall deaths? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I had 5 fall deaths before getting the paraglider. Actually, one of them was in the process of getting the paraglider. Was actually a goof on my part after I already had the paraglider. But 3 of those 5 happened at this exact moment where I'm just like dicking around on the glider for the first time and misjudged where I was in relation to the lake below me. Yes, but one of them was trying to use like I was on the surface and there was like one of those big rocks came down and I was like, oh, I can do the thing from the demo where they do the recall and I'll go back up into the sky and yay, I can go out to my sky island. I like those. And so I did that and I stand on the boulder and shoot up right into the sky and I look up and I'm like, there is not a sky island above me. And the power ran out and we started to go down and I'm like, I don't have a way out of this situation. So I just jumped off and just accelerated. I'm like, let me just end this early.
That's great. That's great.
Amazing.
I love
awesome.
just the fact that you didn't even passively do it. You're just like accelerated into the ground.
It's really high. Let's get this over with. In retrospect, I could have teleported out of there. But
oh, that's cheating.
Oh yeah.
I took my loss. I took my L. But yeah, that was the 4th death to falling. The 5th death to falling was I just forgot to trigger the paraglider on the way down from the first Skyview tower, and until it was too late because you're so high up, and so I was like, oh, I'll hit the button right as I get there, and my hands were still used to the RE4 controls, and I hit the wrong button, and so I smashed into the side of the tower and just in front of everyone just dies. You know?
Oh god.
Yeah. It's great.
Amazing.
Sorry.
One of my falling deaths was I was aiming for water. I was skydiving and aiming for water. Yes. And I was like right in the center of this body of water. And it was really shallow. It was a puddle. It just splat.
That's amazing.
That's actually really good. That's really good. I guess from the sky you can't really tell how deep it is.
You can't tell. It was sparkly. It didn't look like a puddle.
Real hazards.
That is a real hazard. Wow.
Oh, I love the splash animation they do, by the way, when you hit water. And then, like, you really feel the momentum, all the water droplets, like, fly into the air and rain down on you. That's great.
Yes.
Okay, I want to hit a few more things real quick, even though Alan hasn't seen them. But we'll have to give you the broad strokes.
Yeah, give me.
So then there's recall, which you basically said, Kaylee, right? It reverses time.
Yes.
I think that's about all there is to it. It's like a...
Zelda gives you that one herself, though. And so you finally, after you get into 3, you finally get into the Temple of Time. And there's the big teardrop thing. Again, big golden one, but it's much bigger this time. The big comma. It is a comma. And you kind of go up to it and it flashes and then suddenly Zelda is like floating there. And she just like asks you, she just like extends her hand out and you put your new hand in her hand and she gives you this recall power and then she disappears. And you're like, what? Wait a minute.
Bye.
I thought we were
weird.
I thought we were doing a thing. And and then the ghost guy
Speed dating.
And then the ghost guy who your arm belongs to shows up and he goes, oh, there she goes again. And I'm like, what? How do you know her? A. B, how do you know that she just disappears randomly from places?
Yeah.
It doesn't
There she
make.
goes disappearing again.
C, where does she go? Tell me.
Also, this ghost man that gave you his arm, every time he showed up, I was so mesmerized by his hair.
Yes.
It's bigger than his body.
Yes. He has a lot of hair.
Oh yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
hair.
I think I haven't really noticed. Raru, right?
Yeah.
Raru.
Something like that.
Raru.
Wow.
Raru, the source of the hand. So like that's great
Yep.
descriptor.
Just in case you were confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Source of the hand.
It's very-
Nothing about his, being the first king of Hyrule or, the fact that he's Zonai, hold other species. No big
Yeah, they didn't.
Source
they don't
of
really-
hand.
Yeah, source of hand. Yeah. Did they change that later, like in the beginning of Breath of the Wild, where you're basically talking to like the king ghost or whatever?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But you don't know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That's pretty much this again, right? Like,
Yeah.
So okay. So you get recall. Okay, wait.
Mhm.
After recall, you do a little puzzle with a spinning wheel. You move on, and then I think that's when you get our first glider that we're talking about, so that you get back to the Temple of Time
Mhm.
to get to Zelda, right?
Because there's a door that you have to push open. It's like the Master Sword thing from the first
Oh,
one.
you didn't have enough hearts.
You didn't have enough hearts.
That was cool.
And there's that
okay,
angel-
I like this.
Yeah.
So to open
angel
doors now.
thing was there.
What's
That,
that?
that
Oh,
rock,
yeah, yeah.
that rock that you pray to get
Oh
heart
yeah.
containers.
The goddess statue.
A statue of the
Oh
goddess.
yeah, goddess
Goddess
of
Yep.
Hylia.
Yes.
Yeah, so you have to go collect your 4 power orbs or whatever they call them in this one. That's the same as the first one, but they're green now.
Light of blessing.
It's different. It's different. They're green.
They're gold.
Wait, are they
Gold.
gold?
They're
Yeah.
gold.
Well, the
The green one's
chambers are
called a
green.
sage's will.
The chambers are green, but the
Yeah.
the orbs are gold.
Okay, my bad. I was kind of drunk. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
Okay,
you
okay.
fucking
Love that.
turn those in for a heart. But what's
Green
cool
orbs.
about
Uh-huh.
that is that to open this door now, it tests how many hearts you have the same way pulling out the Master Sword did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh right.
It took the whole like Dark Souls inspired slowly push the door open thing that's happening in every game in the world now, but it added this fun new thing because now for certain boss fights, if they want, I don't know if they'll do this, but they could take you
could gate
down
it.
to certain hearts. Yeah, like that would be pretty sweet.
Okay.
Yep.
I bet they will play that at some point, or like specific areas to like actually progress the story will probably behind one of these doors where you're like,
Yep.
fuck, I have to go grind in order to like get in here, which is fine, but like, yeah, that's a cool idea. Fun mechanic.
So that was cool. Yeah, it felt cool to
Dope.
push it and see it hurting you. Which again, it's playing with what they didn't fully buy into. Like that could have been your whole hand ability. Like if you were having to use that long enough and it's like draining your health. So you're like kind of playing with it. Anyway, somewhere in here we finally get to what exactly happens, Kaylee? It's like she's calling us through another dimension, and we pull the sword, our broken, decayed Master Sword that
Yeah.
nothing is supposed to be able to hurt.
Yes.
We somehow hand through dimensions to Zelda, and she takes it.
Yeah. There's like a little glowy flash of light above like an altar thing, and the sword starts glowing as this thing starts pulsing. They like kind of pulse at the same time, and you just kind of hold it in the middle. And then the scene flips, and you suddenly are looking at it from Zelda's perspective. And like Zelda's
At
standing
the
there.
same place. Like same
Yeah.
location, it seems. But
Yeah.
you're gone and she's there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're gone and she's there. And she takes it from that. And then it goes back to you and you're like, oh, the sword's gone.
Shit.
That's it. I mean,
Oh, okay.
I was like, this is, I mean, like, it's a cool concept that like, okay, so clearly the sword's got to go and, do its own vision quest in order to get its mojo back. But like, I don't,
Yeah.
very
Sounds
phallic.
right.
So,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that, but it doesn't have the power to shoot rays out of it anymore. And
Yeah.
so now it's got to go regain that power.
I did test that in the beginning part. I was like, does it still do the thing? And it does still do that thing. Or it did, at least before it got demolished.
Or it lost its mojo.
It lost its mojo.
Yeah, I lost its mojo. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
So shortly after that, to speed a few beats along for Alan, shortly after that, you can go to the ground.
Yes.
You can jump off of Tutorial Island, and
Okay.
that was pretty cool. And you kind of aim for a body of water on the mainland. And then you can do whatever
Did
you
you
want.
miss, Kaylee?
I did
Your
not
face.
miss. It was
Oh,
really
okay.
close, though. I almost
Oh, okay.
missed.
So yeah, you're falling pretty high so that you can kind of.
Yeah,
Get
and
to
you,
a place.
well, you could easily just kill yourself.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
The bodies of water are appropriately sized for you to
Oh
aim
yeah,
at.
yeah. Sorry.
Okay,
it's
okay,
not.
okay.
It's not specifically that it's hard. I just mean that it's not. You have the control to also just
Yeah.
kill yourself if you want. Like, there's plenty of space to miss as well. If you
Gotcha,
wanted to just
gotcha.
like screw around, you do not have to land at the same place.
Sure.
Yeah, you could play with your aerial mobility. There's
Yeah.
a piece of clothing that improves your mobility.
Yes, I found that
Ooh.
too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I don't have that
Oh,
yet.
interesting.
I guess
Okay.
that's like the old climbing outfit, right?
Mhm.
This will be
Oh,
that this
right,
time.
right, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. you need
Okay,
that
here's
stuff.
what I really want to know, though. You guys are on the ground. How did you choose where to go first? What did you, like, choose a direction or anything? How did you make that decision?
Towards the castle, I guess.
So so the three of us did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I just looked around and I was like, I guess I run that way, which is kind of funny because I almost didn't. And then I thought I was actually doing the more fun thing. I actually almost was like, well, the castle would be the end of the game, right?
Right,
Just
right.
because it was last time.
Yeah.
And we have that info. So I was like, well, it's probably stupid to go that way. The probably hardest bosses are there to start gating the castle, likely. I think I see a tower the other way. I guess I kind of see a tower by the castle. You know what? I'm just going to run towards the castle and I'll probably die and then I'll go do the real thing.
Yep.
And then it turns out that, and Alan, this isn't really that much of a spoiler because I think you should absolutely first go toward the castle. Because if
Okay,
you
okay.
don't,
Continue
you don't,
the storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if
Oh,
you
interesting.
don't,
Yeah.
you
Interesting.
don't get the paraglider.
Yes.
And
What?
I don't know how this game's fun without
Oh,
the
that's
paraglider.
pretty-
So I thought it was weird that they waited so.
Yeah.
I find what I really wanted to know is like someone who went a different way. Do they do something to nudge you to the paraglider?
I was gonna say,
Jack,
yeah,
you know
yeah.
something?
No.
No,
So
you just never
I-
know
That
to get
is
it.
weird.
Yeah.
I
That is weird.
went
It's a huge thing.
I went to I kind of ran around a little bit first. And eventually I did go to Lookout Landing. And did like one story beat there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I climbed the Sky Tower because
I almost did that just for the hell of it, right? Because you're like, I guess this is the game. I don't know.
that's what you had to do in the last game.
Yeah,
you had to
right,
climb
right.
the tower, you get to
Yeah.
the top, you activate the thing.
Yep.
But you get to the top
Okay.
and it's just the top of a tower.
Yeah, and you can't
There's-
really get down because
There's
you don't have
nothing
a paraglider.
there.
Yeah.
There is nothing there. So I climbed down the tower.
Oh, so it doesn't.
Such a
okay.
massive waste of time.
Amazing.
Oh, that's crazy.
But if you just keep going with the story, they activate the towers and make them normal, and you don't need to climb.
And you
it.
get your paraglider.
And your paraglider.
Yeah.
I mean, I spent the first, after getting on Tutorial Island, I think I spent the first 20 minutes building a car and realizing that I didn't have any way. Well, so then I spent one of the Zonite devices that's like in the capsule. I spent one of those to put a fan on the back of the car so that it would go. And I did that. And then there's no way to steer it. And it doesn't last very long. And I was like, is this going to be it? Is this?
Is this it? Is this
I'm
as much as you
crafting.
can get?
This is it. Oh,
I
okay.
crafted.
There are better car options in the future.
Yes.
But yes, I spent an inordinate amount of time doing that. So, to then lose it as soon as I like went into a shrine.
Yeah. So you lose your stuff.
They
if you go
disappear.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
they go away as soon as you go. Okay.
Yes.
They don't
so
always
just
stay stuck forever or crafted.
be aware of this.
Interesting. Wow,
Yeah.
I'm getting so much intel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's our start. So here's one more quick thing. Is that in that first? Is it called? You said it was called Lookout something. Lookout Landing.
Landing.
So if you go towards the castle, you'll find Lookout Landing. Do the main story for a minute. They'll also encourage you to talk to like one of their sidekicks who will tell you about the depths. And you should do the first quest there.
Yes.
Which is cool, and you go below ground and some things happen. Not a whole lot, but you just get an idea. It's really just very Elden Ring, is what I got out of it,
So
honestly. It was
Elden
just
Ring.
like,
It's
oh,
so
you did the
Elden
Elden
Ring.
Ring thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, like
And-
yeah. After Radon.
Shortly after that, we will have our real moment where we need to pick where we're all going. So my question to you guys is, once we catch up to that, where are we going next time? We're not gonna like complete a whole thing, but which are we going? So which of our 4 main compass directions are we heading in?
So I think the first story beat direction they tell you to go in is towards Rito.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
That's the one they try to go like, hey, this will be the easiest.
Yeah, go this way first.
Oh, interesting.
Well, it's in the newspaper, and there you meet some people from the new. You meet some journalists who are like, "Hey,
Yes.
come see us in."
Everyone is
Hebrew?
trying to
Yeah.
tell you, like, nudge, nudge.
Oh,
you
really?
know,
Like, go this way.
probably go there first. But my question to you guys is, are we going to take that bait, or are we going to, like, go to the desert or something crazy?
I have 6 hearts. Pretty proud of that.
Wow.
That's impressive.
And-
Oh, that's pretty
Thank
solid.
you.
Impressive.
And I think that I don't want to push it.
Okay.
So
Keep
you
it
want to go
is.
to the Ritos?
Yeah,
You want to follow the golden
I
path?
do.
Okay.
The golden path, yeah.
Let's
I don't like dying.
let's at least do the first one. We can always revisit it after that. Could do the other ones in a different order, you know. But like, yeah, let's go where it tells us to go.
Okay, I tell you
yeah.
what, actually.
Hmm.
I will let Jackie choose this one, and next time someone else will choose. So,
Ah.
Jackie, you'll have the power now. Are you going to stick with Rito?
Yes.
Okay.
There it goes. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Billy,
Mhm.
you had texted us earlier this week that you met an NPC that
Oh,
Right.
have we not
Right.
talked about this
that
smoking
tickled
Oh.
that tickled your dating sim
Dating
wish
sim,
list
uh,
item.
Uh-huh.
Your gaming.
For half a second,
Definitely-
I was like, "It's putting my Persona 5 in there." Oh.
It's Pura, right?
Yeah, of course. Of
Those
course.
heels.
She's literally coming out like a cosplayer.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Her intro is phenomenal. I thought it was like
Well, she's
genuinely
got,
well
like,
done. She's
The
very silly and
goggles
like
or
yeah.
askew.
And she
Yep.
picks them up and like
Yeah. And then it becomes a cute little bow on her hair.
Ah,
mhm.
great character design, honestly. She was pretty cool.
I have one issue with her character design.
Yeah.
Why in the fuck is she holding a recorder?
Is that what that is? I thought that
She's
was like
holding a recorder.
are you
I
sure?
mean,
Like the-
do.
Like the musical instrument? Oh,
Yes.
okay. Oh.
She
guess
uses
I
it
thought
as
it
if
was
it's something
something
else.
else.
She uses
Yeah.
it as if it's something else, but it is Jackie's 100% correct. It is absolutely
Oh.
the shape of a recorder.
I
I
am
didn't
in
know
fourth
that it was
grade
a
music
recorder.
class
I thought
again.
it was
Interesting.
I think it's so
Like-
that she could just like slap it against her hand, kind of like school
Yeah.
teachery.
She's using it very well. I was picturing
Billy's into it.
yeah,
It's not
yeah,
a skin
yeah.
flute, Billy.
To me it's like
Wait.
how not for everyone are we going in this episode because
E. Not for everyone.
We have never been a family podcast.
Yeah. Not really. Not necessarily.
the way she's slapping that stick around, I was like
So Is this a
I'm
new?
ready to see what. Yeah, I think it's a metaphor. She could play me some tunes.
Is this a new character that we've never met?
Oh yeah,
before?
Alan, buckle up.
Okay.
Make sure your
No.
wife's not in the room. Wait,
Yeah.
what? She's
Her is the little girl from the first one.
Yeah.
Remember,
Yeah.
she's
ooh, don't do that to me.
she's like the 100-year-old Chica woman.
I was
who
gonna say-
de-ages herself
yeah.
I thought
and
that
then
name
helps
sounded
her
familiar,
parents. Yeah.
but
This
she like
is-
turned herself into a child or like child
Yes.
form,
Yeah,
and
So
like
she's
couldn't
like
turn herself back.
She's
Yeah.
clearly
Oh, so now
like
she's, like,
perfected
back to
the
her-
technique. No, now she is like in hot mode.
yeah.
Oh.
She will be forever hot.
Yeah.
Forever.
Now
Oh,
she's
I
a
see.
vampire. She's
Now she's a
basically
vampire.
just
Yeah.
a
Okay.
vampire.
Exactly.
She figured out how
she's
to
like a
maintain.
scientist.
I'm
crazy
technically
mad
wise
scientist.
and old. I've just frozen myself
Yeah.
into a hot teenager body.
Uh-huh.
And this is a flute.
This is a flute.
Yeah. I thought
An
the
of
Purah-
age
I thought I knew
teenager
Purah.
body, to be clear.
There you go.
Gotcha,
there you go.
gotcha. What?
I mean, I was going to put her in her mid-20s, but that's fair.
Same.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just mean that the vampires are always frozen and like, God damn that.
Yeah, they
How
like go to high
canceled
school.
am I? Am I kick off the show yet?
They always go to high school. They're always at high school, so like it makes sense.
Exactly. Well,
but,
that's the thing, right,
yeah.
Alan?
Definitely not a high
they're-
schooler.
They're in high
No,
school, but they're also literally played by people in their 20s. So it
Yeah.
makes it
Well,
seem
vampires, yeah,
like
yeah.
it's more or less
Right, right.
creepy.
It's
Yeah.
like Twilight,
Yeah.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you know, all of that stuff.
Vampire
It's a
Diaries, which
trope.
we've been watching a lot of, gotta say, you know. We've been hitting that up, HBO Max.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Oh,
Well, I can't wait to
man.
meet her.
Oh, buckle up.
I thought I was no fairies.
I mean, you wouldn't want to constrict your lap any further, right? You said buckle up.
oh, okay.
No, you might need to do that to hold some things down. Otherwise,
Well,
the
that-
ascend ability could change. Could maybe something could spring from
yeah.
one layer to the next layer. If you're not
Silence
careful.
was loud.
Oh, my face.
Ultrahand. You might need to use Ultrahand on something if you once you meet her.
I can't. I can't. Oh, man.
And then after you goop stuff, you can like free it by wiggling the stick, right?
That's
Isn't that
true.
accurate.
It's
Oh,
true.
boy.
So you
Oh,
ultra
boy.
hand that sprays goop, and then you free it by just wiggling it.
This is the new butt joke, isn't it? We're moving on from butts to
It's
erection.
Oh boy.
This is what we're
Yeah.
doing.
We're run
just
back to the
evolving.
safety of butts. Let's run back to the safety of butts.
Yeah, butts was a way more safer word than ultra hand. By the way, so did you guys send a thing about penises built immediately? Did we talk at all yet about how T minus T to penis, like what time to penis? What was the time to penis of this game from the community?
I think I have actually built one.
You built one?
Not on purpose.
Oh yeah, of course. The accidental
yeah.
The
penis
accidental
crafting.
penis.
Yes.
Yeah.
That happens.
The accidental penis. Is that the name of the episode? I don't know if that can get published.
No.
I don't think so.
No,
I don't
I
think
liked
so.
Cheers of the Kingdom. That was a good
Cheers
one.
to the Kingdom.
Cheers to the
Okay.
Kingdom was nice,
Cheers to the
yeah.
Kingdom.
Yeah.
And we're
seen a lot
going
of
to
clips.
Rito.
Yeah.
And Alan has some ketchup.
I do have some ketchup, but I feel like with all the knowledge I've gained today, should be missing some. Hopefully, missing getting into the right bodies of water, and
Yes.
Yeah.
not dicking around too much in the gliding.
The pond that I splatted into was in Lanairu.
Lenaru?
Sure.
Lanairu. So be careful around there.
Okay, and then get
Actually,
the
don't even
paragliding.
go there. Just don't go there. Go straight to Rito.
I mean, get the paraglider.
Yeah, I definitely get the
Honestly,
the
that
paraglider.
solves
No,
all
no,
of these
Rito.
problems.
Yeah, then go to Rito. Yeah. Okay.
Get the paraglider.
Yeah.
Okay, those listening, sorry, I blanked. What are we doing? Oh, so basically you can write in to you can find us on Instagram, the Standard Edish. You can also write us an email if you want to say something longer.
Mm-hmm.
You can find us there, which is just standardedish@gmail.com. And Alan checks our Twitter, so you can find him at Standard Edish on Twitter. So we all check various things. You just gotta like roll the dice. Kaylee checks none of them, and then we tell her about them.
Yeah.
So that's
put me in charge of a thing. I'll do it.
We'll give you TikTok. We're gonna start our
Oh
TikTok.
God, no.
No.
Just mainly to see what you try to do with it.
No.
We have
Immediately
Patreon.
regret.
We also have a Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon.
Kaylee will start checking Patreon. There
I
you
can
go.
do that. That's the thing I can
You
do.
can
check our
you can
Patreon.
buy us
Support us there.
drinks.
You
And you can buy us
drinks.
rounds on our website at Standard Edish. So if you like what you hear, you can buy us rounds there. What we also really like and will read immediately, and then many times over when we have dark days, are reviews. So you can leave us reviews so that other people see it.
Yeah.
Do I sound like Beetle? Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, actually, that's a good. Yeah,
The merchant. The
Yeah,
merchant
yeah.
at the stables.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's really good.
That's
Were
actually
Were you
really good,
voice
yeah.
acting some of this?
Yeah, I was actually.
Wow.
Missed
No,
opportunity
I
to do the Beetle again, but it's fine. Okay, write us in. Tell us some of your favorite stories or moments from the opening section, and we will read them online, on air, whatever. That's how it works.
Yeah.
On pod.
On pod.
On pod.
On pod.
Sounds French.
Yeah.
Tell us how much you
On pod.
swooned. Am I the only one for our anime god, or are we all out there? Is this the new Ronnie? I guess that's what I want to know.
Yes.
Oh. Wow.
I
Wow.
Hyrule has a different
Gasp.
goddess.
Whoa.
gasped too hard there.
All right, Jackie, get us out of here.
Pura, got a smang. Wee.
Oh, mama. Put that thing on easy mode. Go with standard edish. Story mode is my big fetish. Go with standard edish. My avatar's all coquettish. Oh, she's coquettish. This ain't no speed run, mama. I'm having hella fun. No need to get overpowered. Just take that starting power. You can turn me into a farmer, but don't hit me a horse armor. I'm going. Yeah, I'm going. Standard edish. Story mode is my big fetish. Go standard edish. My avatar's all coquettish. Oh, she's coquettish. Deluxe edition art book. Mama, I'm never gonna look. Plastic jacket, fake sword, collector's racket, trophy hoard. You collected every single thing just to pop out all this DJ bling. Well, I'm still stuck at the starting tower. I've been lost for like a fucking hour. What? We'll go with standard edition. Story mode is my. Oh, she's cookie.